Hi, my name is Christopher Malcolm. I'm a Los Angeles-based lifestyle, fitness, and activewear photographer and director, and I'm here to talk to you today about my series, World on a String. My job is to create stills and motion for some of the largest brands in the world to help tell their stories. And I think there's a lot of crossover between kind of like lifestyle fitness as well as like travel and leisure, in the sense that, when somebody picks out a new pair of running shoes, right? Or someone books a flight to Paris or goes backpacking through the Yukon, right? There's a certain through line there. All three of those people may be doing different activities, but essentially what they're saying is that they're open and they're willing, and what they want to do is they want to live their best lives. So with the World on a String project, my objective was to try to kind of combine all those elements with that through line and tell, the story of a young woman that is just seizing the opportunity, that's out there in the world, that's putting herself out there, that's challenging herself, that she's enjoying the good things in life, like street fairs and kind of walks in the park, but also still paying attention to her health, still, running, still exercising. I love to travel. I mean, whether it's just wandering through the streets of Paris or, quick road trip to the mountains. I love to kind of get out into the world and see what's out there. And I think my love for photography and my love for travel kind of go a bit hand in hand, in the sense that they're both a form of exploration. They're both a way to learn about the world and learn about the people that inhabit it. I'm also a fitness fanatic. I went through a major kind of fitness transformation myself a couple years ago, which changed my entire, not only my health, but my life in general. And so I'm always trying to kind of speak the gospel in that way, and help other people, to kind of get to where they need to go. One of the trickiest things, obviously, is for someone who loves travel and loves fitness, is that sometimes it's hard to do both at the same time. I'm sure everybody, out there can probably relate to that. People have all kinds of excuses why they don't work out. It's kind of human nature. I don't have enough time. My hotel didn't have a gym. I was too busy. Basically, these are like the fitness equivalents of the dog ate my homework. One of my favorite things to do when I visit a new city is I just go for a run. And I find it's a great way to experience a city because, as opposed to sitting in the back of a tour bus and have somebody point out things to you on the street while you try to take pictures through a little, glass window that did, you're seeing the city, but you're not really experiencing the city, right? But there's something about connecting to a place on foot, right? Where you can just kind of go out and go run and kind of be in it, right? It might not be as comfortable sitting in the back of a tour bus, but you certainly, you get a better sense of the place. And so that's something I always try to do whenever I touch down in a new city. And so I wanted to try to incorporate that into my series. So you have this young woman who's going on this kind of extended trip, but she's also taking the time to go for a run. She's seeing sights, she's seeing things that she might otherwise not have even noticed, were she just, being lugged around in the back of a bus. She's getting out there on foot and she's kind of breathing the fresh air and enjoying the experience. She's filling herself up both physically and spiritually, in a way that's really accessible to anybody with, a pair of running shoes or even a full tank of gas. I'm what they call a planner, right? I'm notorious for preparing these very large, kind of extensive documents that I call pre-shoots. I work with the client to kind of figure out what a story is that they want to tell, and then put together a really almost, a script of sense, in a sense that it, conveys to the cast, crew, and the client what it is that we're going for, kind of the type of shots I'm looking to get, the kind of mood I'm looking to get, maybe some posing ideas. As well for myself, it also lays out kind of in detail how it is that I plan to get there, both kind of creatively and from a technical standpoint. This process was a little bit, kind of like half and half. I had a plan, but I also didn't know exactly how it was going to come together. Part of which is because I didn't know exactly where I would be. So the wonderful thing about Los Angeles is that you've got so many different locations in such a somewhat condensed area. From my front doorstep, there's 20 minutes to the west, you can get to the beach. About an hour and a half to the north, you can get to the desert. About 45 minutes to the north, you can actually get to snow. Pretty much anything you want to see, you can see within a relatively, short period of time, relatively speaking. So with this project, I really wanted to kind of take advantage of that. So I called up Kat, who I'd worked with before on another kind of more fitness-oriented project. And she was terrific to work with. So I knew when I kind of had this concept, I knew that's who I wanted to team up with. And first thing I said to her is, I said, do you want to go on an adventure? And of course, she was up for it. She was completely down to kind of, go out and kind of see what was going to happen. And so really, I had planned out kind of the type of shots that I wanted, the type of mood that I wanted. Only thing I didn't have planned out is exactly where I was going to go. And that was intentional because I really wanted to kind of get a sense of exploration throughout the day. Like if this woman was on a real road trip herself, out in the middle of nowhere, and just wanted to drive and explore the Tuscany, or she wanted to enjoy, drive up the, coast of Mexico, or wherever she might be, it might be like that. You see things and you explore. There's a town called Solvang, which is kind of like a small Scandinavian tourist destination. That's about an hour and a half north of Los Angeles. So I knew that was going to be my destination. What I didn't know was where exactly we were going to stop in between. We just drove up the 101, kept going, and just stopped along the way when we found interesting things. It was definitely a little bit improvisational, but at the same time, it all kind of fit into the same concept that we had built out, before we hit the road. So the end result was kind of a large body of work that kind of all had a common through line with various locations. And so it worked out quite well. I'm happy with the way it worked out. I was not so happy with the fact that we ended up coming back in rush hour. I didn't think that part through. So, getting up there took maybe, an hour, or getting down took about 2.5 hours. So that was fun. Luckily, Kat's a good conversationalist. The title, World on a String, is from the Frank Sinatra song. It goes a little something like, nobody wants to hear me sing. That wouldn't be good for anybody. It was a long shoot, but by the time we got back to Los Angeles, we had, over 100, a still gallery of over 120 stills, 6 short films, plenty of social media assets in the forms of GIFs, and really a great project and a great experience, and hopefully an effective story told. I think we got exactly what it is we set out to get. We had a great time making the series in the first place, and I think the audience that looks at that will really want to go out and kind of engage with the world. Buy a plane ticket, or hop on a train, or look at Airbnb and really kind of explore the world around them and make the most out of their lives. I believe our lives are meant to be lived. The experiences that shape us, the dreams that make us. It's all out there for the taking. My name is Christopher Malcolm. I'm a Los Angeles-based lifestyle, fitness, and activewear photographer and director. Thanks for watching.